So Tesla stock up a mere 10.2% today. A very quiet day. Always boring around here. Nothing exciting ever happens. Such a stable, predictable stock. Closing over $230 per share. Now, you could ask the question, what could possibly have caused so much buying activity on Tesla stock to cause the stock to surge by more than 10% in a single day? The market capitalization now approaching $750 billion and up about $100 from its 52-week low. What could possibly have caused this? Well, it's possible, maybe. Tesla's latest vehicle production numbers might have had an impact, but call me crazy if that's the case. It seems a little bit out of proportion. Don't get me wrong, I personally have been buying Tesla stock hand over fist, and I think it's the deal of the century. As I pointed out on X overnight, finding it pretty amusing. Tesla delivers a few more vehicles than expected. Stock up 9%, now closing up 10%. Tesla on the cusp of autonomy. Stock still down about 50% from all-time highs, still down about 8% year-to-date, and so on. Short-term, short-sighted nature of investors in a nutshell. Can't wait to see what happens when people figure out robotaxis are happening and obviously understand the implications of robotaxis actually happening. A subscriber replied to this guy's post saying, yeah, this is small relative to vehicle autonomy and Optimus. Now, I'm not trying to be a hater here, but context might help, okay? In Q2, Tesla delivers 440,000 vehicles. The collective geniuses, I guess, what would the term be, genii, on Wall Street were expecting 436,000. Now, I'm not very good at math, that's why I just make videos, but even somebody as dumb as me knows that 436,000 is exactly 4,000 less than 440,000, which makes the numbers nice and simple. That's about 1%. 1% more vehicles delivered than people were expecting. Stonk up 10%. Now imagine what happens when Tesla prints many billions and then tens of billions of dollars of additional profit that no one was expecting. Not like 1% more profit. No, they weren't expecting at all on the back of autonomy and then eventually Optimus. I wonder what might happen to Tesla stonk then. This is visually representing what ARK Invest think will happen. Tesla, $2,600 a share 5 years from now, based almost entirely on successful deployment of robotaxis and the insane money they start to print. So let's see what the finance media have to say about this enormous 1% beat on deliveries for a single quarter. I mean, this is just so representative, again, of the short-sighted nature of investors. One, the deranged hyper-focus on vehicle deliveries while ignoring the opportunity that is literal orders of magnitude larger than vehicles. And how quickly fear, uncertainty, and doubt can evaporate and become bullish. P.S. In before a bunch of supposed analysts start increasing their Tesla price target by roughly what the stock went up today, or maybe double that if they're really courageous, because the stock went up not because anything meaningful changed. I mean, nothing meaningful has changed, by the way. They didn't announce a new factory. They continue to ramp Cybertruck. Hello. We can see what happens to prices globally. Like, nothing has changed. We just now know a number that's in the past. I mean, it's July now, right? Tesla's now disclosed something that has already occurred, and it was so close to what Wall Street was expecting that it's a nothing burger. Make it make sense.
Got the Q2 delivery numbers for Tesla, and these are better than expected. Remember, the street was expecting about 436,000 vehicles delivered worldwide in the second quarter. Tesla delivering 443,956 vehicles in the second quarter. 95% of them, as it usually is, Model 3 and Model Y. And so this is much better than was expected. Production coming in at 411,000.
I just got a fact check Phil here. Much better than expected. Look, I mean, it's live TV, right? So I can't hate on the guy, but I do just want to be clear. Okay, 436,000 versus 440,000. It's like 1%. I would not call that much better than expected. In fact, I'd pretty much call this exactly as expected. But hey, that's just me.
1,000 vehicles, 410,831 to be exact. So again, the reason you're seeing shares move higher, this is a better than expected number for the second quarter. Earlier today, we got Tesla's China numbers, and that had a few people a little bit nervous. Remember, China is the world's largest EV market, and therefore, you want to watch it closely because it's such a big part of Tesla's overall sales around the world.
Now, this is semi-reasonable, but I do, again, just want to be really clear. Tesla produces a lot of vehicles in China that are exported outside of China and sold out of China. So the obsessive focus on Tesla deliveries within China tells us almost nothing. What we must instead focus on is how many vehicles did Tesla sell on, wait for it, ready, Earth. Because Earth includes China and all the places that vehicles produced in China are exported to, and all of the other areas in which Tesla sells vehicles to. That's literally the only number that matters. Global vehicles sold/delivered. For many reasons, in some days, weeks, months, and quarters, it will make more sense for Tesla to sell more vehicles locally in China and others to export more. Sometimes you'll have a huge shipment that's arriving in a country, and others, there'll be no shipment that month at all. So there's a huge amount of volatility and variation in tiny geographical pockets on Earth, which is why hyper-focus on a tiny region or one specific country or one continent doesn't make a whole lot of sense. People often read too much into the tea leaves. Oh, China deliveries are down a little bit compared to last month. It's the end of the fucking world. There's no demand. Meanwhile, these morons completely ignore the fact that, actually, many tens, if not a few 100,000 vehicles actually produced in China were sold outside of China this quarter, this month, etc. Calm the fuck down.
In June, sales totaled 71,007 vehicles, down 24% year over year. For the second quarter, Tesla is in China, a little over 200,000 vehicles delivered. And I want to show you where Tesla is relative to BYD, because BYD's...
All right, question. I just want to ask the question. Because, by the way, did they not just literally do exactly what I was explaining? China, Q2 down 24.2%, end of world. Yet, somehow, Tesla's still beating expectations. People going absolutely ballistic, loading up on the stock. Because, miraculously, despite China Q2 being down 24.2%, funnily enough... Tesla globally is still absolutely killing it. So, question. When we see these numbers from BYD, I've got a sneaking suspicion, but I hope I'm wrong. I have a sneaking suspicion, so what do you guys think? Will CNBS compare apples to apples, electric vehicles with electric vehicles? Because BYD also produces fake electric vehicles with a vibrator-sized battery in them. They're called hybrids. Will they be disingenuous and present the figure that includes internal combustion engine vehicles from BYD, but pretend they're apples? Or will they actually compare pure electric vehicles, which is all that Tesla makes, with BYD sales of pure electric vehicles, and exclude the internal combustion engine vehicles with a tiny little battery in them? Fake EVs. What do you guys think? I'm saying about 70% chance they're a bit misleading with these. But hey, I have been wrong in the past. A lot. Let's find out.
Q1 sales of electric vehicles. We're not talking hybrids.
Oh my God, bro. Let's fucking go. I'm so happy to see this. They've actually done it. This is miraculous. That 30% probability coming in clutch. They've compared apples to apples. This is amazing. What's going on? Credit where it's due. This is impressive and unexpected.
Pure electric vehicles, so you can compare those with Tesla. They came in at 426,000 vehicles. So Tesla still remains number one worldwide. And there you see VW, GM, and Geely as well. And in terms of annual sales, I'll be curious what this does to the estimate of what analysts are expecting for the full year. Right now, it's come down to 1.82 million vehicles expected to be delivered this year by Tesla. For a point of reference, it was 1.81 million last year. So essentially flat. Do analysts now say, okay, maybe we're starting to see some momentum here. Maybe we raise the full year delivery estimate. Now, as you take a look at shares of Tesla, a couple of important dates to keep in mind. July 23rd. After the bell, that's when we will get the Q2 results, and we'll see what kind of impact pricing in China has had on those Q2 results. And then on August 8th, this is the one that so many are focused on. This is when Elon Musk, he talks about the Robotaxi. What's the plan? Do they show us a vehicle? Do they give us a timeline in terms of Robotaxi being deployed? Geofenced areas all over the place. Tons of questions surrounding what they're going to say about the Robotaxi. That comes up on August 8th. But again, guys, for Q2, better than expected deliveries from Tesla.
This is absolutely amazing. From Dan Ives. We are raising our price target on Tesla from $275 to $300. New bull case or $400. We believe the Tesla demand story has made a significant turn for the positive heading into the second half of 2024 and into 2025. Tesla AI story could be worth $1 trillion plus and is the most undervalued AI name in our view. Top reply below this: so brave to upgrade the stock $25 after it trades up $22 on the day. I have nothing further to add. So some more coverage in CNBS. Is the narrative starting to shift? Is it still the end of the world for Tesla, or are suddenly demand concerns in the rear view mirror and suddenly Tesla to the moon?
Tesla's delivery numbers and the road ahead. Let's bring in Tim Higgins. He's business columnist at the Wall Street Journal, also a CNBC contributor and author of Power Play, Tesla, Elon Musk, and the bet of the century. Also with us, George Gianarikas is an analyst at Canaccord Genuity. George, these numbers, delivery numbers, are better than you expected. Looks like some of those big inventory numbers are being worked down here, but there's still questions about demand and supply from the Chinese makers out there. So what keeps this stock moving in this positive direction?
Well, thanks for having me on. And we think the really important metric from a stock perspective is to watch year-over-year growth trends. If our numbers are right over the next couple of quarters and next couple of years, the year-over-year growth in earnings and non-GAAP earnings and revenue likely bottomed in the first quarter. And if you pay attention to what the stock's done, it probably bottomed in the first quarter. And what gives us a little bit of conviction that they probably will hit that 1.8 number and likely grow into next year is that they've promised to release new vehicles. We don't know what they'll look like towards the end of this year and into early next year. So that gives us some confidence and hope that they can continue that growth trajectory over the next several quarters.
Tim, how important is the premium end to Tesla right now versus that low end where they're facing this challenge from Chinese makers? And I don't know if they're going to have the same kinds of help from the government, either in the forms of tariffs or incentives to keep them moving vehicles versus this new challenge.
Just want to jump in here. For the record, Tesla's Model Y, with its premium price tag relative to many of the much more affordable Chinese electric vehicles, is selling more units in China than any electric vehicle produced by any Chinese EV manufacturer, despite the fact that many of these companies like BYD have vehicles for half, even 1/3 the price of a Model Y. Model Y is still at 2 to 3 times the price, outselling any individual Chinese electric vehicle. That should tell you everything you need to know. But there's a part 2 to this ramble. That's before the next generation Tesla comes out with a much more affordable price tag. Just imagine the kind of numbers it's going to be doing if Model Y is already outselling Chinese EVs that are half or a third the cost.
Yeah, this is one of the challenges for Tesla right now is they're kind of stuck in the middle. You look at the Chinese rivals and they're kind of biting at the low end of the market, appealing to people who are price sensitive. But then at the high end of the market, you're seeing new entrants out there from Lucid and in China itself from some of the local makers there. They're the hot new product to have in a market where early adopters or people want to have the newest thing. Tesla's lineup, long in the tooth, and kind of fighting for that middle realm where it's not quite sure how hot the market is.
That's right, the old long in the tooth, stale vehicle lineup, because the names of the vehicles haven't changed despite everything in them changing, multiple refreshes, constant innovation, improvement, new features, new functionality. Bro, come on, man. This narrative of Tesla having a stale vehicle lineup, it's so brain dead. Look at the data. The Model Y, last year, best-selling vehicle on Earth. This year, going to be the same shit. If the narrative made any sense that they have a stale vehicle lineup, it was long in the tooth, then why on earth would they be claiming the number one vehicle sold on Earth by units sold trophy? Doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, it sounds good if you don't think about it. Oh, yeah, look at the Model 3. That came out in nearly a decade ago. The name's the same. It must be the same product. It's like the iPhone hasn't changed since it was launched because it's still called the iPhone.
Bill, what would you add to that? What would be the next important data point to watch?
Well, it's the Robotaxi. I mean, this is the one that everybody is keying in on because people want to know if there is truly going to be the level of detail that will give them confidence to say, you know what, this strategy makes sense. On paper, what Elon Musk has said, whether you go back to the last earnings call. Hold
up. Sorry to interrupt here, but bro, on paper, how about in the real world? How about the actual vehicles on the roads? How about you can fucking see what Tesla FSD is doing now on the roads? Let me just spoil Autonomy Day, all right? Okay, ready? Check this out. Tesla's got a point. Go see that thing on the road that you've all been seeing, the FSD thing that you can all watch videos of, unedited, all over the fucking place right now. You can see what it's capable of right now. See that? That is going to power these, and then they're going to point at a Robotaxi, and we're going to be making these ASA fucking P, starting in Austin, and then elsewhere in the world as well, and make as many of these running that as we possibly can, as fast as we possibly can, because we're right on the cusp of solving autonomy, as you guys know, because you've been watching the unedited videos of this thing driving in the real world. And then, of course, I expect that most analysts and investors will go, oh, but they're not operating them yet. Therefore, I can't put it in my model. I can't put those rows in my spreadsheet because I don't have a number yet, Tesla. I'll just wait. I mean, this really is the crux of Autonomy Day. They're going to make a dedicated Robotaxi as fast as possible, as soon as possible, and it's going to be powered by FSD. And it's going to print crazy amounts of money. And Tesla has an unassailable lead on this. No one's catching them. They got the data. The end.
Or previously, on paper, it makes 100% sense in terms of what he wants to do. But the reality is getting Robotaxi up and running and truly having an impact in terms of saying, okay, we have a fleet out there and it's X 100,000 or, however many vehicles and seeing some trajectory. That's what people want to see. So August 8th is really what people are focusing on, Kelly, because if it's another case of, well, we think we're going to be able to get this, but we don't have a whole lot of specificity, I think it's going to be a disappointment.
Right, exactly. But George, for you, how important is that as well when a lot of people would say Robotaxi is a wonderful long-term aspiration, and yet in the near term, how tangible is it?
Look, it's an incredibly important date, like Phil alluded to. We'll see what exactly they talk about their long-term business model. But one key metric that we're focused on when they report earnings is FSD, full self-driving take rates. They lowered the price of it significantly during the quarter. They gave a free 1-month trial. And to the extent people believe in autonomy, which we do, it'll be really important to see how many people opted in and bought that software this quarter. That is the key to the near-term story, in our opinion.
Well, Tim, my question overall, and this includes Robotaxi, is what is the value of a Tesla you don't own, and who bears the capital costs and maintenance costs of that Tesla you don't own? Because to me, and maybe this gets to the details, whatever they are, of this Robotaxi strategy, that matters a whole lot.
Yeah, Elon is painted kind of two possibilities, two futures. The Tesla will own some of those vehicles, so it'll be like they have their own robot taxi fleet out there, but then also the potential for the consumer, for you to own one of these vehicles and almost be like an Airbnb situation where you rent it out, you send your robot out into the world to earn its living. The challenge, however, is we haven't seen this technology really from Tesla yet. They haven't demonstrated the ability to deploy robots into the world to act as robot taxis. We've seen some companies in the world do it. Here in San Francisco, I can go outside my door and watch a Waymo go by on a regular basis, but we haven't seen Tesla do it. And that's going to be one of the key things here in August is what are these timelines for actually deploying real, fully self-driving technology?
Now, if this is the kind of information that investors are expecting and hoping for at the Autonomy Day, specifically, here's the exact date we're going to launch our very first autonomous vehicle. Good luck. I'll spoil it though. It's going to be as soon as possible. As soon as Tesla's confident that they have an extremely safe product, the robotaxis will begin to awaken, most likely first in San Francisco, and very quickly after that throughout the United States and other parts of the world. Here's the thing that you should really focus on. Actions. Tesla's actions. Forget what they think and expect and tell you and don't tell you regarding when does autonomy happen, when's the first robotaxi fit. Who cares? What is the company doing? When do these vehicles enter production? How far along are the prototypes, the production systems? When will they first begin ramping trial production in Austin? Will there be any new factories producing these dedicated vehicles? If so, when? If the company is betting tens of billions of dollars in terms of actually producing the vehicles that do not have steering wheels and pedals, you don't need them to spoon feed you a date. Obviously, they're confident this thing's A, going to happen, and B, going to happen ASAP. That's the most important thing that investors will take away from Autonomy Day. If Tesla describes actions the company will take and follows through on those actions, that's what matters. If investors are asking, when do you think you'll have the first robotaxi on roads, and how much will you charge, and when will you get regulatory approval, and are you really confident that autonomy will be solved this year or next year, or what date is... Who cares? What we need to be looking for here are actions. What actions is Tesla taking that indicate their confidence that they're on the edge of solving autonomy? What actions are they taking that lines up with the rollout of a fleet of robotaxis? What actions? And then we keep track. Is Tesla doing what they said they were going to do in the weeks and months following the August 8th event? What actions has Tesla taken? Are they taking the actions they told us they were going to take that all point to autonomy? If Tesla says that we're not going to actually start producing these dedicated robotaxis until 2030, that's going to give a pretty clear indication of their confidence or lack thereof in terms of solving autonomy anytime soon. If, on the other hand, they essentially say, we're going to start making these things as soon as we fucking can, finish designing the production systems, we're going to be ramping these, trial production happening in Austin literally now, maybe we've already started making some, obviously a very different story. I think a lot of investors are going to be focused on the wrong things. Again, what actions is the company taking? Where are they spending capital? That will tell you everything you need to know. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. Plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental game has improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, what's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe you might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.